Hi there, I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. So glad to have you with me as I take you around San Diego. I'll catch you up on our top stories and look ahead at what's to come. We do begin, though, with your money. If you're still waiting for your California stimulus check, you're not alone. The state now says some people won't get their money until after the first of the year. In this Working For You report, CBS 8's Steve Price looked into the delay and why some people who could really use the money won't be getting it at all.
It was a spike in gas prices that first led to the idea of refunds. Then lawmakers decided to make it based on income, and it has now morphed into something called the middle class tax refund. The money started going out in October. So why have so many San Diegans still not gotten their refunds? And more importantly, when can they expect them? The California Franchise Tax Board's website says direct deposits started going out October 7th and were supposed to finish November 14th. But when we checked the website this morning, it said 6.7 million direct deposits were sent. Then this afternoon, that number jumped to 6.9 million. So clearly they didn't finish 2 weeks ago.
Those refunds, all of them, should be out by now.
Political analyst Steve Swat says the whole point of this money was to help Californians pay for spiking gas prices in early spring. But bickering in Sacramento over who should get the money caused massive delays.
And it is sort of typical of the way politics works that they tried to do something but couldn't get it done until the end of June. And that delayed payment for everybody. And it turns out some San Diegans who have been paying the higher gas prices won't even be getting money from the state.
I'm one of 3 million seniors that will not be getting this stimulus check.
Rosemarie Hamilton doesn't make enough money to have to file a tax return, so she won't be getting the refund, but she drives a car and is being hit hard by inflation.
When I'm living on such a fixed income and how expensive everything is in California, it's just with the groceries, inflation, my rent, I live in a mobile home park, is going up. I just can't afford to stay here.
We reached out to several local elected leaders in Sacramento, along with the Franchise Tax Board, and all of them said they weren't available for an interview. The state's website says debit cards are currently being mailed out by last name, and right now they're on N through V. The amount you'll get ranges by income and marital status from $200 up to $1,050. The cutoff is $250,000 a year for individuals and $500,000 for couples. Working For You, Steve Price, CBS 8.
Yeah, I guess be patient, Steve. Thanks. Well, another big story this week. Mayor Todd Gloria took extra measures to fight the fentanyl crisis. He signed an executive order on Tuesday directing further action and cooperation with law enforcement. Addiction and overdoses claimed the lives of more than 800 San Diegans last year. And just recently, Customs and Border Patrol released numbers showing that in just 1 year, more than 6,700 pounds of the synthetic opioid was seized, an equivalent amount that could kill more than 1 billion people. We asked Mayor Todd Gloria how these new efforts will hold dealers accountable.
We know that they target encampments and really deal their poison in those areas specifically because they're easy targets. These are people with existing mental illness and addiction issues. And what is very frustrating about this is these dealers do not care about their customers. They know that one pill can kill and they still sell it. And that's why we think additional sentence enhancements are going to be necessary.
Yeah, Mayor Todd Gloria also tells me that he will be heading to D.C. next week and will be asking for additional federal resources. Well, staying on topic, should San Diegans who receive county subsidized housing be required to be drug-free? Currently, this zero tolerance policy when it comes to drug activity is on the books, even though it is at odds with the state of California's approach known as Housing First. Now, next month, the Board of Supervisors will vote on whether to end this controversial policy, which many homeless advocates say is a barrier to getting people off the streets and into housing.
If we're going to implement successful harm reduction programs and move people off the street, this can't be a restriction that we allow to continue.
If you want help, and we're willing to help you, but you help people, but it just doesn't make sense we can allow them to continue with what's keeping them homeless.
Yeah, the County Board of Supervisors is scheduled to vote on this policy change December 13th. Well, Chula Vista Mayor Mary Casillas Salas delivered her final State of the City address as her second term comes to a close. The mayor reflected on the past and is looking ahead to the city's future. She talked about highlights of her time in office, like major investments in law enforcement, improving aging infrastructure, and building new housing. The mayor closed by thanking the community for giving her the opportunity to be mayor in a city that she was born and raised in.
Chula Vista, you have given me the greatest joy in my life. I know that the state of our city is strong now, and we will continue to have a strong and bright future.
Councilmember John McCann is projected to be Chula Vista's next mayor. He will take office December 13th. Well, now we are hearing from a mother whose baby boy died from complications with RSV. Cases of the respiratory virus have increased dramatically over the past couple of months across the country, and here in San Diego as well. CBS 8's Shannon Handy shares the tragic story of one family and has a message from the mother who says that she wants more parents to be aware.
William Myers died on November 15th. He was just 6 weeks old. His mom tells me she wants more parents to know about RSV so they don't experience the same type of pain she's going through.
It's super hard to talk about. Every time I just think that this is my way of loving my son. Like, if I can save one parent from this heartache, then I will walk through fire.
Jessica Myers is going through what no parent ever should. Earlier this month, her 6-week-old son William died from complications related to RSV.
He was just as sweet as he could be. I mean, from the time he was born, he was so beautiful.
William was born 6 weeks early and spent 9 days in the NICU. He was home for 3.5 weeks when Jessica noticed something was off.
He was really congested. And so we were using the nose Frida, so like the boogie sucker, a lot.
That same night, William's breathing became labored, so Jessica and her husband took him to the hospital.
Because the hospitals are, overtaxed and the emergency rooms are crazy busy, it actually took 6 hours of waiting before they even tested William for RSV.
William was transported to Children's Health of Orange County, where he was initially given oxygen and then had to be intubated. He died just 3 days later.
Then they worked on him for quite a bit. So they administered CPR for an hour. And then they brought him back and there was so much hope there, right? Like, I hear his little heartbeat and I'm so hopeful that my nightmare is over. And it wasn't, it was just beginning.
Through her grief, bringing awareness to RSV has now become a priority for Jessica. By the age of 2, most kids will have had the respiratory virus. It usually masks itself as a cold, which goes away on its own, but for babies, it poses different risks. Jessica wants parents to trust their instincts.
If your baby is less than 3 months old and they have that much congestion, it is not because the air is too dry, it's because something is wrong. And young infants should also not cough. So if you hear them cough once, go to the doctor.
Also, wash your hands thoroughly, avoid touching or kissing babies on the hands or face, and reconsider going to large gatherings. Jessica doesn't know where William got RSV. Looking back, she and her family thought they did everything right, never anticipating a loss like this.
I know the holidays are coming up, and I know that, people are going to guilt trip you into wanting to do all the family functions and go to all the things, but there will be other Christmases, because for my family, we didn't even get one. Just keep your babies safe.
Jessica's husband served as a Marine at Camp Pendleton. They moved to Cathedral City in 2017, but their friend here has set up a GoFundMe page to help them through this difficult time. If you would like to donate, there is a link on our website. Just go to cbs8.com and click on this story.
Yeah, it really is devastating. We sincerely are thankful for you sharing your story. Again, though, it is that time of year. If you don't have a case of the sniffles, you probably know someone who does. Now people are talking about a potential cure that others say is just an old wives' tale. So our verified team decided to investigate the raw onion cure. Here's our Brandon Lewis.
When you have a cold, you'll do almost anything to relieve the pressure in your head, the scratch in your throat, and just feel better. Sometimes that means turning to old family cures, or even YouTube. Verified viewer Michelle and several others emailed us to ask whether leaving a raw cut onion in a room can cure a cold. A similar version in a blog post and YouTube videos claims wearing a sock with an onion slice overnight can cleanse your body and help you get better. So let's verify. Can placing raw onions in your house or on your skin cure a cold or flu? Our sources are Providence Health and Services, the National Onion Association, and Bawalia Lungu, a food science professor with the University of California, Davis. If you've ever cut an onion, then you know tears are bound to follow as enzymes are released into the air that irritates our eyes. Centuries ago, during the bubonic plague, our sources say people thought that reaction was the air being purified, and that would help keep them healthy.
I guess they were thinking that smell is going to help clear or clean out the environment. But again, life doesn't work like that.
Similarly, Lungu says some modern Chinese medicine practitioners falsely claim an onion's purifying properties can be absorbed through the feet.
The body doesn't absorb compounds or nutrients and send them to major internal organs that way.
Lungu points out there is no evidence that proves any of these methods work to treat an illness. So, no, placing raw onions in your house or on your skin cannot cure a cold. Onions do have important prebiotics that can strengthen your body's immune system, but our sources say to get those benefits, you'd need to eat the onions, not put them on your skin or in your home. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis for CBS 8.
Interesting and worth trying, right? Well, how about a claim that you may have heard when you were a kid? If you swallow a piece of gum, will it really take 7 years to digest? We'll verify this one in just a minute. Yeah, until then, the air pollution at our border is far worse than any other part of San Diego County. In this Earth 8 report, Arnetta Iranpour shows us how this is impacting people in San Ysidro.
It may look like a nice day at our border, but looks can be deceiving.
So this is a black carbon monitor.
The air pollution monitor set up at San Ysidro's fire station shows the reality of what people are breathing in.
You can check it from the office, see if it's down or up.
Certain particulate matter or pollution is usually up here. In fact, the pollution data from this monitor directly correlates with the high border wait times.
The higher the wait time at the border, the higher our monitors will read during that time.
Alejandro Amador, who oversees the environmental justice program at Casa Familiar, explains there are more cars sitting idle, spewing fumes that people should not be breathing in.
This is our highest reading site.
The readings Dr. Soderman is referring to show black carbons. That includes diesel particulate matter.
Diesel particulate matter is a very important pollutant to measure because it is a very toxic emissions, very high cancer risk.
It also leads to asthma and other respiratory issues. In fact, the Cal Enviro Screen 4.0 shows San Ysidro is in the top 78% for asthma rates compared to the rest of California. Asthma impacts most people in Alejandro's family.
3 out of 5 people in my family actually have asthma. They can definitely get stronger asthma attacks when the conditions are right in that sense. But yeah, they have to carry their inhaler just in case. Sometimes they have to use the bigger machine at night to be able to sleep better.
Alejandro grew up in Tijuana and moved to San Ysidro at age 11. He also deals with respiratory issues like sinusitis.
It's not unusual to feel your lungs and throat irritated, and there's definitely times of the day where if it feels heavy to breathe, so you tend to just not to exercise outside or go to a park or walk out at a certain time.
While he's accustomed to it and makes adjustments in his routine to get by, he also has this important message for the rest of San Diego.
I think we're all born with the right of clean air and the right to a certain quality of life.
And part of the solution would be to reduce border wait times by adding the staffing to open up more lanes.
Open up more lanes. You know, they have a lot of lanes, but if they're not all open, those extra lanes aren't doing a whole lot of good.
Opening border lanes may seem like a simple fix, but it's one that could help people like Alejandro, his family, and the nearly 30,000 others who call San Ysidro home breathe a little bit easier.
San Ysidro, it has been a huge economic power to the rest of San Diego just by being a border. So I think it's only fair that because of the years that we've been marginalized and disinvested in, that we need to pay attention to San Ysidro.
At the border for CBS 8, I'm Netta Iranpour.
Important conversation, Netta. Thanks. Well, meantime, more than 1,200 sailors from the USS Tripoli are back home with their families after finishing the Tripoli's first tour of duty. The amphibious warship arrived in San Diego Tuesday morning. Many sailors reunited with their loved ones just in time for the holidays. The ship was on deployment for 7 months. Along with the sailors was a Marine attachment of F-35 fighters. Once again, welcome home. Well, travel this holiday season is at pre-pandemic levels. According to AAA, nearly 55 million Americans hit the road or took to the skies for Thanksgiving. That's the third busiest year since AAA started tracking in 2000. Now, while just 200 flights got canceled nationwide this past Sunday, there were still 6,000 delays, making San Diego Airport busier than normal.
The flight was supposed to be at 6:50. We didn't take off until 11:30. By the time we landed here, it was close to 2 a.m.
Yeah, the busy holiday travel season, you know it, is far from over. Speaking of, colder temperatures are starting to arrive, and one Verify viewer wanted to know how winter blend gas affects fuel economy. So we sent our Brandon Lewis once again to find out.
When you fill up your car, you probably don't think too much about the gas that goes into it. But in the fall, gas stations started selling a winter blend of fuel instead of a summer blend. Verify viewer Deanna texted us to ask if that winter blend lowers her car's fuel efficiency. So Deanna, let's verify. Does the winter blend of gas make cars less fuel efficient? Our sources are the U.S. Department of Energy, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, Gas Buddy, and AAA. The federal government requires refineries to make 2 blends of gasoline, one for the summer and another for the winter. The summer blend reduces smog when temperatures are hotter, while the winter blend helps ensure your car runs in cold weather. All of our sources say the summer blend is slightly more efficient for your car. The last time the Energy Department studied the difference in fuel efficiency of the 2 blends was in 1995. The agency found there was a less than 2% difference in fuel economy. So a car that gets 26 miles per gallon in the summer might get about 25.5 in the winter. So yes, the winter blend of gas does make cars less fuel efficient. But it's not a significant difference. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis for CBS 8.
Interesting, Brandon, thanks again. Well, after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday, finally came Giving Tuesday, a day to give back to charity, and many local nonprofits were certainly thankful to have your help and support. According to the group behind Giving Tuesday, 1 in 4 nonprofits get half of their yearly donations during the holidays. But nonprofits were concerned that there may be fewer donations this year because of factors like inflation. Some generous donors are still matching donations for local charities, though, like Serving Seniors, the Humane Society, Alzheimer's San Diego, and Foundation for Women Warriors. Well, keeping you in the holiday spirit, the 42nd Ocean Beach holiday tree is now here, and it may be the tallest one ever. The tree is 35 feet tall and was donated by an Ocean Beach resident, continuing a tradition that started in 1980. The ornaments for the tree are also donated by the community. The tree lighting ceremony will kick off a parade this Saturday, starting just after 5 p.m. And Balboa Park's December Nights is also happening this weekend. CBS 8 is partnering with them, and there will be so much to see and do, including visiting a Christmas tree made entirely of poinsettias. The San Diego History Center used more than 400 plants to create the 15-foot high tree. The center will also get into the history of the poinsettia and its connection to San Diego. Be sure to come on out and say hello. Well, right now, you know it, Santa is busy recruiting elves at the United States Postal Service. The USPS just kicked off Operation Santa, where children can write to Santa Claus and you can help fulfill their wishes by adopting a letter. CBS 8's Abby Alford visited with second graders in Choice View who were busy writing their letters to Old St. Nick.
Operation Santa has been around for 100 years, but this is the first year that the Postal Service is partnering with Santa and a local school to help children's wishes come true.
Dear Santa.
Decked out in her holiday sweater, 7-year-old Hemina assures Old St. Nick that she's been good this year.
This year I have been kind and nice.
Her Choice Mead classmate Michael shares why he loves Santa and who really belongs on the naughty list.
He makes people happy and give free presents to every good kid, but not bullies. And we don't have bullies at Choice Mead.
But they do have good second graders who are learning to write.
How have you been?
Lila says Santa can't miss any details.
Like I like playing with my little brother, even though he's sometimes crazy.
These letters are part of Operation Santa, a United States Postal Service campaign that encourages children in need to write Santa in hopes that one of his elves will adopt a letter and grant a wish. USPS says last year, California children wrote a record 3,000 letters.
Hopefully this year we'll have more. That's the goal, is just to really fulfill a lot of the kids' wishes.
By reaching more kids in need in a new initiative, the post office reached out to second graders at Choice Mead Elementary in Southeast San Diego.
While we're excited that a break is near, it's a lot of anxiety and anticipation for our students that may be going home to families with parents that are at work full-time or are feeling the stress and the pressure of the holiday season.
If you would like to help Santa and make a child's wish come true, adopters can go to USPS Operation Santa's website and read through the anonymous letters.
This year I would like a dress that is colored rainbow.
Children can ask for whatever their heart desires.
Pokemon cards.
What these grateful children would really like is a magical holiday.
I love you as a friend. Thank you for my gift.
To learn more about Operation Santa, go to CBS8.com and click on the Help button. Santa's calling. I better get up to the North Pole to help out.
Cute kids. Love that so much, Abby. Well, you know it, Old St. Nick comes from all different backgrounds and ethnicities, and this week, Black Santa is spreading joy in San Diego as demand for a more culturally diverse Santa is growing.
Now that they're making black superheroes, I think Santa Claus is one of the biggest superheroes it is.
Yeah, Kenneth White there started dressing as Santa 2 years ago. He was decked out in Santa's attire at Balboa Park and was taking photos with his family when bystanders, young and old, asked for photos themselves. Many parents say it's important for their kids to see a Santa that looks like them because it makes the holidays more magical. Now Kenneth has a new suit and he is for hire. Well, Tibetan monks from southern India are touring different parts of San Diego to spread Buddha's teachings and powerful life messages. CBS 8's Ariana Cohen went to one of their stops in Carlsbad, where they are building really an amazing masterpiece.
These Tibetan monks from southern India are constructing a sand mandala that will be finished this Friday that the public can see all week.
Tibetan monks are on their Sacred Arts of Tibet tour from the Gaden Shartse Norling Monastery, something they've done for more than 30 years. The monks are creatively working inside the Fez Gallery in Carlsbad, where they are making a sand mandala. They use tools to delicately place each grain of colored sand into a masterpiece, only to dissolve it after it is completed to symbolize something meaningful.
So here, the sand mandala, when we finish it, means how hard that we work on by doing so much effort by working on each grain of the sand. And when we finish it, means we have to dissolve it. And so it symbolizes impermanence.
The monks also share Buddha's teachings and their sacred earth and healing arts.
It's to teach about the concepts of Buddhism, one of them being impermanence, that we don't need to attach to things because everything eventually will be gone. So we're learning how to give our hearts openly to something or someone without clinging to it. And it's a really important concept for happiness.
The finished product of the sand mandala will look like this. Once completed, they will have a dissolution ceremony where the monks sweep the mandala, carry the sand onto the beach, and release it into the ocean to spread peace and a powerful message.
In our society, we may be more into all those material things, but the happiness, the genuine happiness, can able to only bring by your internal practice, which is the mind. And so to able to work on that, it's something that most important. The first step is let go all those kind of like temptation things. So otherwise you will not subdue your mind.
There's a guided meditation every day at noon until Friday, and there's an interfaith panel Tuesday night here at Fez Gallery. I'm Ariana Cohen for CBS 8.
Truly a powerful message, Ariana, thanks. Well, building safe and inclusive schools requires commitment from community leaders, students, and staff. So in this Zevely Zone, Jeff visits San Marcos High to meet 3 students who just completed Camp Lead.
Following the shooting at Santana High in 2001, county leaders decided San Diego needed a new generation of leaders, and they started with students. More than 20 years ago, Camp Lead started bringing students together in hopes of making schools safer.
My cousins are safe, and I'm so thankful for that, but they were traumatized.
Caroline Oberlin has a personal connection to the Parkland, Florida shooting.
3 of my cousins were at the high school when the shooting happened, and the shooter was walking past their classroom, and they were hiding in closets.
Following the Santana High shooting in 2001, county leaders and sheriff deputies looked to Camp Lead for help.
It's absolutely true.
County Supervisor Jim Desmond recently secured funding to send San Marcos students to 2 camps.
And what it does is it mixes kids that are kind of your high achievers with your lower achievers, and allows them to all be in the same room and to share what they're feeling.
It's just so beautiful.
For 2 nights and 3 days, children are mentored by adults who have been there.
Both my parents were incarcerated. My dad was locked up when I was born.
Luana Woods Medeiros attended Camp Lead when she was 16. She turned away from drug use and gangs and is now the program's director.
When students feel like they're heard, they're respected, like they belong somewhere, they don't want to hurt each other.
Students and staff will tell you breakthroughs don't come easy.
When everyone got there, it was a little hostile because, you're surrounded by people that you don't know.
Ray Polito, a high school senior, credits Camp Lead for the confidence to drop the facade.
I realized that I do have the power to, connect with people.
Dory Huynh, a high school junior, also learned something about herself.
I'm a very judgmental person.
You are?
I used to. I was.
Camp Lead encouraged Dory to be more open-minded.
I learned that you should not judge a book by its cover.
I think they realized that we're all the same.
Teacher Danielle Burke says the camp promotes self-worth.
I don't know if anything can prevent a school shooting, but I do know that this particular camp is rather a step in the right direction.
As for Caroline Oberlin,
you don't know what they're going through.
She's now one of 5,000 students spreading a message of tolerance.
Everyone has a good heart and might just have a tougher outside, but these people, they're so cool and they're such good friends to me.
In the Zevely Zone, Jeff Zevely, CBS 8.
Boy, so encouraging, right? There is hope. Camp Lead is an acronym that stands for Leadership for Equity, Access, and Diversity. Their next camp starts on Thursday. For more information about the program or to help out with a donation, click on the help button on CBS8.com. Well, as promised, we leave you now with one more Verify. It's something you probably heard when you were a kid. Don't swallow your gum or it will stay in your stomach for 7 years. But is it really true? Here again is our Verify team.
If you ever swallowed your gum, chances are someone told you it would be stuck in your stomach for the next 7 years. Many Verify readers told us this was a food legend they were curious about. So let's pop this bubble once and for all. Does gum really take 7 years to digest? We asked these sources to chew on that question. And they all agree. The 7-year claim is a myth. On average, it takes 2 to 5 days from the time you swallow something to the time it leaves your body. That timeline is the same for gum, but your body digests gum differently than most foods, which is probably where this legend got gummed up. Let me explain using a banana as an example, which according to the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, digests pretty easily. Chewing helps the banana break down into smaller pieces, so it's easier to digest. When it gets to your stomach, acid breaks down the banana pieces further into what's called slurry. Then, in the small intestine, enzymes act upon that slurry to absorb the banana's nutrients. Anything left in the small intestine when the slurry passes into the large intestine exits the body through your stool. But gum, which has a rubber base, stays mostly intact throughout the digestion process, according to Dr. Walia Lungu.
The body doesn't produce any enzymes to break down the gum. And so anything after the small intestine that passes into the large intestine is just passed out in stool.
Gastroenterologist Dr. Nancy McGreal says gum's movement through the body is similar to the fiber base of raw veggies, corn, and seeds, which also stay intact because the body lacks the enzymes to break them down. So we can verify, no, gum does not take 7 years to digest. After a few days, it gets flushed out of your system, just like basically every other food we eat. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till for CBS 8.
A sigh of relief, right? Well, as always, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for staying informed. Join me each week as I take you around San Diego. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take good care of yourself.